Qapla! As said by Captain Ake. What's her name? I need to write her name down.
Nala Ake.
Ake. Okay.
Nala Ake.
She gave us a Qapla last episode. One of the highlights of the episode.
It was like It was like
Volume.
Peggy what's her face from King of the Hill.
Oh.
Talking about I would like donde el baño on my tortilla. It was very non-Klingonish.
I'm Crewman Tommy. Welcome to the Technically Trek podcast. We are live. It is Sunday, February 1, 2026. Let's introduce the gang. To my right, we've got the PVG.
Good morning, and live from SETI Alpha 6555.
And let's go over to Crewman Mgyx.
I wasn't done, but that's
What's
all right.
up? I mean, you already fucked up in the first 15 seconds. You said good morning, and it's 6 o'clock at night. You
5
got the
o'clock
wrong
somewhere,
SETI
baby.
Alpha. You're on the wrong planet.
5 o'clock
Just-
somewhere.
Just give it up. Just
I just
it's
got
5
back
o'clock,
from
but it's not
birthday
morning.
party.
We're gonna print them out. I'll just bring out the cue cards.
You need the
That'll
you
work.
need the old wheeled out overhead projector with the aluminum
Microfiche.
part with a whiteboard and project his script onto there. That's
Yes.
what you need.
We got Crewman
And then
Karen
have
in the
someone else
chat.
say it.
Hello, Crewman Karen, and of course the Chief. Hello, Chief,
Let the force be with you.
and also with you. Is that what you say on Sundays?
You betcha.
Let me ask this question real quick. How do we ever hear the Qapla? Doesn't the Universal Translator catch that and convert
They
it to like
mentioned it.
"success be with you"?
They mentioned something about that.
Does it have like exciting word filters? We don't translate every word.
Oh, my bad. I got the Marvel universe mixed up.
And
With
we've
Star
got
Trek.
IB, Trekbot.
But I do wonder that. So if the Klingons are saying Qapla, are they saying it in their natural tongue? Or are they saying something else and we just hear what is translated into Qapla? Like if Vulcan said Kapow, does that mean live long and prosper?
I mean,
So when they're talking to another Vulcan, do they go, let's use tack up instead of kapow? That's too close. Let's say they go, hey, Sirach and T'Pol, pack up. And we hear live long and prosper, but they hear pack up. How does it know when to translate into English? And if everything is being translated into English, what is the Klingon saying for Qapla? Because we hear Qapla.
Yeah, like when we hear Worf and them guys singing on the bridge of Martok's ship, right?
Right.
We're hearing them all sing in Klingon. Why isn't that getting translated to something like, "Oh, say, can you see?" or like whatever they're
Or are
saying?
they
It's not
singing
the
it
same.
in English?
They're singing it in like deep Klingon, and it gets translated to.
So the closest I could think of is if they go with the reasoning that Marvel uses, is that certain languages have a deep rooted language that the interpreter doesn't know how to break down. So like usually so what they explain in Marvel is like in Guardians of the Galaxy, most of the people have a universal translator implanted in them or on them. So we hear English. But for certain languages, like Groot's language, the Universal Translator doesn't know how to translate that. It doesn't have enough syntax in its database to translate it. And I'm thinking that's the same thing with like Vulcan and Klingon. That would be like the Universal Translator can translate the Queen's English or the King's English, but it can't translate Latin, which doesn't make sense because they refer to Shakespeare and a bunch of Latin shit as there. So yeah, I think you have identified a larger plot hole, sir.
Unless,
by the way, hey there, Karen McLeod of the Clan McLeod. There can be
only one. Unless they've got Qapla actually entered into the English dictionary as well. So that way the Universal Translator doesn't think it needs to be translated.
You made it to become a known idiom, like live long and prosper.
Or like Ola or Aloha or something like that.
Right. Or the middle finger.
But my question
Everybody
is
knows
this,
the middle
I have
finger.
a deeper question. We hear Klingon's natural language. I think we hear some of Cardassian's natural language. But for the first people that made contact, why do we not hear their natural language? Ever.
Because the Universal Translator already handles it.
But that doesn't matter. You speak English, but you still know if you see someone that speaks Spanish, you hear them speak Spanish.
Yeah.
So why don't we hear Vulcans talking about? Why would the Vulcans talk amongst themselves in English? Klingons do it all the time. So why don't we hear Vulcans speak in their natural language? Or Ferengi in their natural language?
What is that? I don't recall what that sounds like.
Ferenginar?
Yeah.
I think it's just called Ferenginar.
No, I mean, I don't recall hearing it spoken.
I think the closest place we would be able to see that or hear that would be in DS9.
Yeah.
Or the Voyager episode where the Ferengis go through the mini wormhole and end up in the Delta Quadrant. And then the one where they steal the prototype starship.
Karen McLeod of the Clan McLeod, there can be only one, says the Enterprise, not the Enterprise. Enterprise has a few good Hoshi episodes about language. Yeah, there was quite a few actually, and I'm surprised Hoshi. There's not a lot of references to Hoshi, obviously, ever again.
She was the first. That's that.
Yeah.
First of all, Karen Park was kind of hot. I'm not even gonna say kind of. She's hot. She could get it.
Mirror was better.
Either one.
She did her hair different.
Day of the week, depends on the mood. But yeah, like, why is she not getting more props for being the person that programmed the Universal Translator? Because she's the first person to hear all this shit.
Yep.
Like, so many languages that no one had heard before, she was the first one to translate.
You would think her name would be in like some kind of dictionary of terminology.
Right. Oh man, you really Hoshi'd that one.
Yeah. Or pull out the Hoshi device so that we can figure out what they're saying.
Right. No, I need the Hoshi dictionary. Volume 5.
Or was the Universal Translator already made and she just tweaked it?
No, I think it was tweaked. I think it was made because obviously by the time Enterprise came around, first contact had already been made. And again, Vulcans were there. But then
did Vulcans speak English when they came to?
I think they did because they observed.
Okay.
They observed us before they made contact,
Carbon
which is kind of
Creek.
weird. No, let me back up. I guess they had to observe because they showed that in Enterprise when T'Pol showed her great grandmother going back to Carbon Creek. But then at the same time, if they did observe, how did a Vulcan research happen to be in the same area at the same time? If you observe the progression, if you observe a planet to enough to learn the language, you would be able to see their natural progression from the 50s, 60s. Carbon Creek is in 50s and 60s. No, actually, it was 30s and 40s.
At least.
Why wouldn't you have like an outpost somewhere and be like, "Yo, they're gonna be close. We need to get some science out there to observe these people." You know, one to see if they blow themselves up and make a warp bomb or a warp engine, not just have a sporadic research vessel just happen to come across. Because if that were the case, if they really didn't give a fuck and they just happened to be like, "Oh, there's a random warp tube."
Sherman. Nassif?
What?
No. A guy I knew from high school.
What's up, Sherm? E5U? Sherman N from CHS.
Oh my gosh. Ah. Wow.
Okay. Welcome to the show, Sherman.
Holy cow.
Sherman.
From
So
Cleveland
that's
High
what I'm
School.
saying. That brings up, that's kind of another loophole or another plot hole in Star Trek. Why was there just a random research vessel that happened to pass by that caught it? Why wasn't there already an outpost around Earth if you were been observing us long enough to learn the language? Or was our language that easy to learn that it only took you like a day or two to program in your own Universal Translator? Because
Who's the closest planet to us? Vulcan's wasn't the closest planet.
I don't know.
Uranus.
Not planet, but like species, like Andorians. The Tellarites were close. The Vulcans. I thought there was somebody closer.
There's nothing within our solar system.
I feel like if the Andorians or the Tellarites were closer, they would have invaded us. They wouldn't have honored no prime directive type stuff like the Vulcans do.
Right. So, yeah, and why didn't and in that case, if the Vulcans have been around that long, the Vulcans already knew about the Klingons. And the Vulcans said, actually, this is a huge plot hole. Because the Vulcans like, you need to either kill him or go back to his planet. So the Klingons already knew the Klingon language. Why didn't they give us the language? Why did Hoshi have to figure it out?
Yeah.
That's kind of the dick move. Does that make the Vulcans are the true villains
I would say they are.
Star Trek?
Sure,
Because they wouldn't even
us.
give us the language of the guy that we're transporting. They already knew it. They knew about their culture. They knew about everything that went with them. I mean, hell, Discovery even mentions the Vulcan hello or the Klingon hello. You know, they say hello by Gideon battles. They knew the stories of Kalish and everything else in their culture. Yet you couldn't help Hoshi with some basic translations?
No, because the Vulcans were kind of like bullies. They just wanted humans to go through everything on their own, maybe to appreciate it more.
Right. That's kind of dick. That's kind of the dick moves.
Arrogant.
Speaking of Klingons, they were a big focus of this week's episode of Starfleet Academy.
That was like a Cowardly Lion backstory episode.
It was
I will say
his character.
It got a little. You called it. I will say this: you called one of them. One of your predictions definitely came about. The hookup. I called that one, but even prior to that, I had to come back to focusing on the episode because it got kind of quiet. And it was kind of like if you ever been around kids, you know when it gets quiet, something's going wrong. So I had already lost some focus on the episode. I was playing Call of Duty, and I was probably streaming at the same time.
Duty.
But then it got quiet after the hawk, nuke, duck. And I was like, all right, cool. You getting riled up. All right. Some locker room, go get them, And then I was like, there's some weird kind of background music going on here. And the chanting's getting a little slow. I was like, I need to go. I need to check in. And sure enough, there it is. The moment shared between two people. One wanted it, one did not. But does no really mean no in Klingon? What is this? Sci-fi
I was reading
Vulcan
Karen
orbits
McLeod of the
40
Clan
Iridian,
McLeod.
a real star, only 16 light years. They could have listened to Earth for more than a century. Good point. Karen McLeod of the Clan McLeod said there can only be one, so the sound is toppy for me.
Yeah.
I will do a quick unmuting. I'm going to mute myself here. And then...
I can't hear you.
He's doing a reset of his sound.
Holy cow, I can't believe Sherman is on here on the chat.
This
Chicken of China, the Chinese chicken.
the episode with the whole first, it starts off with this debate thing, right? They're learning how to debate, right? Their instructor is the EMH, and he starts off by quoting, well, I guess he's quoting Judge Aaron Satie, who I think we've quoted this quote before on our channel, which is the one Jean-Luc Picard recites. But
what quote?
EMH says it a little different, but it's like the one about, when the first person is censored. It's about the freedom of speech.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
And I guess the EMH changes it and says it his own way. He left out the word chains, and people are thinking, well, maybe that was a writing decision not to use the word chains, not to offend anybody. And then there was some other part of the thing that he didn't get right. But then the show then kind of goes into the debate about they're starting to talk about the Klingon disaster. So the Klingon situation comes up, which I thought was weird because the burn had happened 120 or so years ago. And so Klingon Kronos already had its problems, right? I guess a whole bunch of their the planet was powered by a lot of dilithium. And so when
they already lost an entire,
damn
near entire planet. They lost Europente, didn't they?
Yeah.
No, Praxis. They lost Praxis to an
Yeah.
explosion.
So,
by the way, I posted the quote on the chat there.
Oh, okay.
In the tubes for those that don't know what it is. It is with the first link. The chain is forged. The first speech censored. The first thought forbidden. The first freedom denied. Chains us irrevocably.
I don't see that. Yeah. So, what I was going to say is,
Karen McLeod of the Clan McLeod. There could be only one. Took over as number one.
They don't want to talk about Klingons' kind of disaster going on because they don't want to hurt what's his name, Jaden's feelings.
Now, are we calling him Jaden or are we just calling him Jaden? Because
I thought it was Jaden.
Yeah. Are we trying to church this up? Are we trying to church up old dude's name?
Jaden? Yeah, we can call him Jaden. I mean, I thought Klingons always had like that little apostrophe between the first and second syllable.
Worf doesn't have that. It's just Worf.
Yeah, but Jaden actually is like JAY apostrophe DEN.
So we're churching it up. So it's not
No.
Target, it's Target.
I mean, everybody can say it the way they prefer, I guess.
Jaden. I like Jaden.
It's not Walmart, it's Walmart.
Walmart.
Walmart fall apart.
So they don't want to hurt his feelings, but then he comes out and says, "No, let's talk about this." And so Klingons got to find the remaining 8 houses. So at one point, Klingon had 24 houses in their prime, and after the burn, they were reduced down to 8 houses
That we know of.
Yeah,
I'm calling it that we know of still, because apparently it's been 100 some odd years, and they're still they kind of hinted that there are still unknowns out there. So there could be 12 houses. They just don't know it yet because these motherfuckers decided not to go explore.
well, and it takes longer to explore. Like you can't
Regardless,
get
man,
you
there's
can't
still
get from
signals.
like to get to Vulcan right now it takes 3 hours, but without warp 1 it would take like
And how
9
long does
years.
it take a subspace message to get there?
I don't know if there is subspace anymore.
Unless there was repeaters are out.
Those don't run. I'm saying Karen McLeod of the Clan McLeod. There can be only one Menches. I too agree that we saw some consequences relating to the burn.
That was IB who said that.
Oh, I'm sorry. My vision's all fucked up. Oh, my bad. Karen mentioned the drum head. That's from the speech. IB, you are correct. I did like the fact that they showed some consequences. I still think they need they could do an entire series based on you could literally call it Star Trek After the Burn. The Afterburn. Like the after show. I'm just saying, there's a whole series that can be done on gathering all the lost colonies. It would be like a Battlestar Galactica of Star Trek, of gathering all the lost people after the burn was resolved. And you could use dilithium again, of gathering up these people. But again, even if you couldn't travel, subspace and radio signals still travel. Why didn't they call anybody?
In Section 31, a bomb was placed in the planet Kronos, making it easier to blow up. That was the kind of the whole plot, right, of Section 31?
I don't know. Never made it that far.
Where they had to prevent that explosion.
So Section 31 takes place just before the burn?
I'm not sure when it takes place. I think it's after the burn.
We need somebody who's watched the entire Section 31 movie to give us like a Cliff Notes version of what it is. I nominate Karen McLeod of the Clan McLeod. There can be only one.
Yeah, I don't remember. I know I watched the first 15 and the last 15. I don't know the hour in the middle. I don't know.
I wonder if we could have AI if we were like, hey, acting as a new and experienced script writer of 50 years, rewrite the script for Section 31 for better global or audience appeal or better Star Trek appeal. I wonder if you could have AI rewrite it.
It's already happened is the problem. All right, let's talk about Jaden.
Okay.
The Klingon.
Jaden.
And now his family, he's lost contact with his family. And then they show you a lot of backstory about how Jaden had a falling out. You know, he was really close with his brother. His brother kind of understood him. His brother knew that he wasn't a traditional Klingon warrior. And his brother knew that, hey, he's into non-warrior type stuff.
He wants to dance.
He wants to live in that town where they're not allowed to dance.
I think Jaden's brother, Thar, really pointed him into the direction of where he wanted to go. You know,
I think his brother was a new Klingon. This wasn't your granddaddy's Klingon.
Open-minded.
Right,
He was an
right.
open-minded Klingon.
Yeah, he was very open-minded, and he was accepting of his brother.
Yeah.
That whole subject with the Klingons and this, it hits different because it plays very true in a lot of households in real life.
Right. Yeah.
Especially minority households. It hits. What you saw there is you could literally, maybe not today, not in today's age, but in the 60s, 70s, 80s, that same type of scenario and parental reaction is very much what minority households were like.
With basically wanting to steer their children into the direction that they wanted them to go.
Yes, you need to do this. This is who we are. This is what you do. You don't do anything. How dare you defy tradition and our family ways? And I will not accept you. I forbid you. Get out of my. You are no longer my son. You're no longer my daughter. You're no longer part of this family if you don't do what we do as a family.
Well, that was PVG when his daughter came home with a black dude.
That was a lot of people.
No, he didn't mind. All right.
I will say this: that was my mom when I came home with a white girl. Actually, no, it was my grandma when I came home with a white girl.
I can believe that. I can believe there would be strong feelings, especially for a black guy with a white girl. Well, actually, with a black dude and a white girl too, or white.
It plays
dude.
Both ways.
Yeah, like that. There's this TikTok that I always see where I guess this black girl and this white kid go to homecoming, and the white kid is bringing her home afterwards, and he's in a tux and everything. And the dad is a black dude, opens the door and hands him like a $10 tip or something. He's like, "Oh, thank you. Thanks for bringing her home safely." Thinking that he's like the limo driver. And she's like, "Dad, this is Chris." Oh, is that what it's called? My Two Dads?
What?
Oh, okay.
Today, I went to a friend of mine's birthday. He's 65 years old, and his name is Gus. Gus turned 65, and I had the opportunity to celebrate his birthday with him. And also Willie Cole. These are two of my best friends from 6th grade. And Willie he's black, but I know. But back then,
did you make Willie pull the radio flyer?
No. But back then in 6th grade, I didn't see black and white or whatever.
I didn't see color.
These were my friends. These are the guys that I would have in the trenches with me. They would cover my ass. I would cover their ass. These are my best friends.
They were trying to kill you.
50 years later.
Playtime.
50 years later, we're still pretty tight.
How many of your girlfriends did they sleep with? There you go.
No, we all shared.
I don't even know how we got on that topic.
That's your PPD brought us on that topic.
It's not a color thing.
All I'm saying is going back to Star Trek.
It's not a color thing.
It's not a color or a race or alien. If we're all fishing on the same side of the boat, then we're all fishing on the same side of the boat. I don't care who you are.
There are so many. You were opening up so many lines of I'm holding back so many things I want to say.
What was the question?
It's all subliminal for him. He doesn't realize what's happening.
Okay, so regardless of that, and yes, we appreciate.
All right,
Jaden's parents, that's I think hit very hard. Well, it depends. It depends on if any minorities of that age group or bracket other than myself watched it. You're gonna be like, oh man, this looks so familiar. I've seen this play out in real life. That is what made this episode Star Trek to me. Is it really took a Gene Roddenberry thing of showing what's happening in real life and portraying it on screen in a manner that more people could digest it and understand it. Because that same scenario still holds true. In every generation, we're going to have that. And in this generation, it is kids coming out. Not just as kids coming out as lesbian or gay. It is kids coming out as I am neither, I am none, I am all of the above.
Is the term.
It is I'm lesbian, trans, homosexual, and then you have it's like getting to a point where you have to do like arithmetic. I was like, do the outsides do you add up and multiply the outsides first, like an algebraic equation if you are multiple things, because they're all different from what you originally were born as. And it's all based on what you are declaring at this point in time. But even in today's day and age, you have parents that are not accepting of that or don't know how to accept it or what they're supposed to do to react to it. That's what made this Star Trek more Trek than anything. From the sci-fi side of things, motherfucker, you showed you had radio capabilities and you were able to radio this thing from one ship to another to find out. You had a radio, you could call in reinforcements. Why didn't your motherfucking punk asses radio out to anyone else that's out there still stranded in the burn who doesn't know?
Well, clearly, because Jaden got to Starfleet Academy somehow. So clearly there's travel.
So
there's
here's
communication.
The thing.
There's
got
travel.
The little ball. He got the little Harry
from
Potter
his brother.
ball.
He got the little Jedi practice ball.
And his brother was going to get some more.
Launch those out in general directions, like
just shooting them out to different planets.
Yeah, wherever it lands, like little Dragon Balls, like just go out and find an M-class planet and
like little leaflets,
infinity stones just being shot everywhere.
Right, like that. You would think that's kind of dumb.
Because I was curious, like, okay, how did he get to Starfleet Academy if they're on this planet that is lost touch or, is out of reach, out of communication?
All right, Chief Sky and PBG, y'all have that conversation elsewhere because we're talking about this.
Sherm is a guy I went to high school with.
Yeah.
100 years ago.
Yeah, that friendship with him.
You remember they used to call him Sherm the Sperm?
How did he get off the planet? If his parents left and they left, they're like, oh, they left me. How did he get off the planet? Or were there other Klingons on that
It must have been too easy, right? It's like, I'd like to see a little backstory of how he got to Starfleet Academy or wherever the pickup, because we're still not even sure what the pickup point was.
But that was pretty
How
good
did he get
character
off the planet?
development.
Is there somebody else on
him.
that planet? Like, because his dad threw the Dragon Ball, I'm calling it Dragon Balls, off the wall, off the cliff, and it was destroyed because old dude fixed it at the end of the episode. So
was that a beacon?
He couldn't use that to be like, hey, I'm ready to get picked up.
Yes.
Signal somebody.
That's a plot hole.
Actually, no, what? I take it back. He did. Oh wait, there are other people there because he said he went to the trading center. My bad. I forgot about the trading center.
Yeah,
I
his brother got
suppose he could go there, but then who took him off the planet? Who took him in? Like, if your own family abandons you, because once you get exiled, isn't it exiled from everybody? Everybody's like, yeah, we're turning your back on you. Your own family doesn't want you. Why should I help you?
You went to
Isn't
the
it like
Trek
survival
recruiter.
of the fittest? That's like you said, too many plot holes. Where's the pickup point at? How did he get off the planet? And that goes to everyone as well. Everyone except the princess and Fish Boy and AC Slater. Everybody else pretty much
only-
has a story, except for a few of them. Like, how the fuck did you get here?
And they did confirm he's the only Klingon on Starfleet in Starfleet Academy. So
Exactly.
they confirmed it. So why
Why is he the only one?
Right. Would they have sent a ship just for one kid who had no way to confirm his like RSVP?
Yeah, I'm still kind of stuck on why is he the only one, especially as you already know Worf made a name for himself in Starfleet and in the Klingon Empire. Why wouldn't more people be like, "Yo, Worf did that shit," and he was
Or
honored.
even as a parent, you'd be like, I need to get my kid off this planet. This planet is barren. It's about to explode.
Right.
Let's send our kids to Starfleet Academy.
Let's Superman this shit. Like, yeah, of all of their houses and all their species, they definitely could have. I would have thought there would be more than one Klingon to want to join Starfleet, because
But
even
if
if there's
he-
only 8
yeah.
houses left, those 8 houses are like decades old houses that hold thousands of people under each house.
Yeah, and if he's the only Klingon, then I guess that could explain why they even accepted him. Because if he were to
charity
take right, because if he were to take a personality test, if he were to take any kind of like physical fitness test, he might pass the physical fitness, but psychological testing, I feel like he would fail that.
I mean, yeah, because
The guy had a problem getting out a full sentence.
there's
Had a
so
nice,
many things.
commanding voice.
He was like an 18-year-old
Do you want to
with a
demonstrate?
mindset of a 10-year-old.
No.
Because he was like, I don't know. And I get the whole you're a teenager, you don't know who you are. A lot of people had that issues. That you don't know who you are, you haven't found yourself, you're in the midst of growing, but your family just abandoned you on a planet. And they said that was like 6 years prior to when we're seeing it in the academy. So you're telling me you didn't find yourself in those 6 years? Because old dude was on his own for what, 12 years? When his mom got taken away, he found himself. He went through some hardships. They even mentioned, we were both abandoned. I thought we were brothers in that manner. You're telling me that you're a Klingon and you didn't find your resilience for anything to stand up for yourself, any kind of confidence in who you are? Like, you would not. The Starfleet would be like, nah, dude, you need to go to the Starfleet Starfleet Elementary or Starfleet Junior High to get some kind of back. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's literally you threw a kid who has the body of a 20-year-old, but he has the mind of a 12-year-old.
Yeah. There's a scene, where the Kyonin is trying to motivate Jaden, and they get very close. Like, their faces are very close.
This is where I said
It's kind of weird. It was kind of weird to me. Yeah. Because
PBG.
I'm just like, what am I watching here?
PBG got a tingle.
No.
Tom got a tingle too.
Like, I'll
Some extra blood flow.
Mgyx, Tommy, we're friends and everything. I would not hold your hands and do that shit.
We don't. We
Look,
don't
man,
get
you
with
always
that.
talk about fishing off the same side of the boat. I
Not
don't know
that-
anyone who does
We ain't
that,
swimming
because
on the
anyone
same
who
side.
fishes or boats know if everyone stands on one side of the boat
I
is
love you,
tipping
but
over.
not that much, baby. So,
You're the one saying you always want to reach over and fish off the same side of the boat.
hey, now.
Look, I'll fish on my side, you fish on your side, and we could talk.
We ain't crossing streams. All right.
Exactly.
But they were a little close, and sometimes you're not sure where they're going with the scene. Like, where are they going with the scene? Like,
This is Discovery.
like,
again.
are they just? Is it like a confrontational, very close scene, Or is the Kyonin trying to get a little lip contact? Because I felt like the Kyonin was trying to get some lip contact.
At first, I thought it was going to be what is the dude that does he's in the movie with Leo DiCaprio, and they're like, oh, you gotta pump your chest. I think it was Wolf of Wall Street. I thought it was one of those things like, yo, feel the burn in your Klingon heart, let the fire go, like that kind of get up. And then he was like, I was like, yo, why you putting your hand on top of his like that? Like,
yeah.
I'm like, oh, y'all, oh, this is that moment. I was like, Tom called it. The Kyonin and Fish Boy is trying to hook up with a Klingon. He wanted it to be more than what it was. Old boy shot his shot. The Klingon was someone like, okay, I don't know how to take this. Yeah. But I kind of want this. But no, I'm a Klingon. I can't. No, back away. I want you, but I don't want you.
And I mean, that was that's a blow to the Kyonin because he thinks he's hot stuff. And he probably has this intuition that, Jaden is gay, but he still got rejected. It's like, dang, I got rejected by him.
Nah, no. Fish Boy got the, oh, okay. That's what we're doing? Oh, you gonna hide your feelings? That's what we're doing? Okay. You playing hard to get. Okay.
He's already got feelings for the dude.
Scene, he's like, remember that touch? Remember? Yeah. Remember
more
that?
where that came from, baby.
I think Jaden's got feelings for the white dude in the War College.
I think he's gonna have feelings for both.
Ooh, I love. Man,
triangle.
what shape is that going to be? No, because the Kyonin's also got feelings for Gemini.
And the Fish Boy's got feelings for everyone.
Yeah, I
just
think
wants
he's just
to
loose with feelings.
He just wants to poke his little pepe everywhere. I think he unlocked a feeling in Jaden that Jaden wasn't aware of, and I think because of that rejection, and because the Kyonin has such a huge ego, I think Jaden's going to take that confidence of, I shut him down. Let me go ahead and shoot my shot over at this other guy at the War College.
Or was that just pure friendship? One guy trying to help another.
Dude,
I mean, it could be friendship.
I don't think so.
They don't seem like friends that close yet, but they're getting there. It's only episode 4. I have known
Tom for probably it's now 35, almost 40 years.
And we have a 4-foot buffer.
We have never gotten that close. The closest we've ever gotten is
TMI.
Probably holding crates of records. Like, I think we tried to stack like 3 crates of records and carry them out as one. And those are still 1.5 feet apart. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think we've ever
an Eiffel Tower's distance away.
I bet.
Yeah, there's
that's what she said.
It's not one of those things like or a hug, a quick hug, and even with that, it's like a class
cool.
tap on the back. All right, cool.
Whatever.
Well, like to wrap up about that scene though, it was just a little unnecessary. Like it was. Because they were having this conversation about the Klingon struggle and how, let's figure out how to help the Klingon people. But at the same time, there is this parallel, like he's got this parallel agenda of I want to get close to Jaden and see if we can get our faces to touch.
What is that song? What is that old 70s song? I want to get close to you.
Don't stand. Don't stand.
Don't stand too close to me.
That's you could literally play that over in the background, and that fits perfectly to that scenario. That's how you know it wasn't a hey bro, I see you're down. Let's get you motivated and get you pumped up. That is a hey, I see you're down. I want to comfort you.
Yeah, let's cuddle. Yeah. Do you want to put your head on my shoulder?
Oh my.
Yeah, Kirk and Spock. So Sci-Fi Sand says like how Kirk and Spock were very close and it wasn't anything more than friendship. I don't think it's gonna be that way. with these two.
Something's going to happen.
Because even Kirk and Spock had a radiation blocking plexiglass barrier between them, and their most intimate of moments. And they were like, yeah, we got. Hey, just to let you know, one side's got radiation, and this thin piece of glass is blocking it. That's how much distance there is. You might as well be across the damn room or across the state.
What are you drinking?
Blue Raz. It's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah. I liked the fruit punch last week. Or the
Karen
week
McLeod of
before.
the Clan McLeod says there can only be one. Says Spurk. I don't know who Spurk is.
That's the that's like J-Lo, you know, Spock and Kirk.
Oh,
Oh, I
I
see
get
what
it
you did
now.
there.
I
Like
get
when
it
you
now.
mash them together under the blanket.
Oh, so it's like a Beneflick or Benifer.
Beneflick.
Benifer.
Beneflick. I like that.
Oh, by the way,
Karen McLeod, the
This is-
Clan McLeod, there can only be one. Says who cares? They aren't interested in you. That's all right. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing that I'm okay with. They showed it, they implied it, but it wasn't as shoved in our face as it was in Discovery.
transparent aluminum.
It wasn't glass.
Yes, thank you. I can't think of what it was. I forgot what Scotty said it was. But yes, it wasn't shoved. Karen McLeod, the Clan Clan, the Cloud. Oh my God, I can't even say her name right now.
There can be
Karen
no-
McLeod of the Clan McLeod. Yes, it's cool if they're gonna show that. It wasn't as shoved in our face as it was so much as it was in Discovery, and that is fine because Jaden, I think it is Jaden. I don't think it's Jaden. I think it's Dan. No, I'm serious. I think it is Jaden. Doesn't know who he is because again, he's a preteen in Starfleet Academy. He's literally a young Sheldon going to college.
I thought that was a really good. This episode was a good character development for Jaden.
It does because it also sets the whole thing that he's able to get over his fears.
Yeah,
And I think that's where the whole cowardly lion Wizard of Oz analogy is gonna. I think that's gonna show more. I think he's got to get a little bit more confidence, and maybe Fish Boy is going to help him gain his confidence and ignite that burning Klingon warriorism inside of him, and he's going to be able to temper it to be like, yo, I can do both. I could be a scientist, I could be a healer, but I can also fuck you up. Because he's like, I am Klingon still.
right. I thought at that last debate with Caleb, I thought he was going to open that can of whoop ass.
Yeah, that right there, that whole debate, that whole fire he had, that's what I'm talking about. I think he's going to use this as, okay, I did it once here. I think he's probably going to have one more that's going to be a little bit more intense, and then he's going to have one that's going to have to get physical. He's going to have to put hands on somebody. And I think it's going to be, I think at some point in time, someone's going to hurt or threaten to hurt someone that he has feelings for, whether that is just his classmates or a love interest, and he's going to have to put hands on someone. And the teacher, the Jim Hada Klingon hybrid, is going to be like, good for you. That's what it's like. That's what you were missing your whole life. I also like the fact that she admitted to being like, I should have been a mentor to you because you're a one of a kind. Mm-hmm. You're not a Worf. Worf was the single Klingon, but Worf was a warrior Klingon who then learned pacifism later on. Right. Jaden is a totally different, just like she is a different type of Klingon. And she's like, I am older than you. I should have been here to mentor you. I'm going to help you through this because she is from 2 warrior races. So she's like the perfect one to teach him how to be a warrior when it's time for him to be a warrior. I think that part's pretty dope. I'm excited to see his development.
Yeah.
I think he'll have to come out of his shell when there's going to be some type of alien invasion or something, right? They're going to get attacked. And I don't think he's going to like get violent with anybody at Starfleet Academy or the War College. I think it's going to be a real threat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The end is going to be like Boss Buku or New Buku, whatever the pirate dude is. I think they're going to be in a situation where like either him or one of his men, second in command, and it's going to be all on Jaden to kind of save the day or stand up. And he's going to be like, yo, you's nothing but a little punk this entire time. Want to watch birds and heal people. Oh, you're no threat to us. And everybody's going to be like, save us, Obi-Wan. You're our only hope. And then he's going to have to lay hands on somebody.
All right.
Hopefully.
I think that would be pretty dope if he does.
Oh, by the way, this is episode 52. So next week is not our 1 year anniversary. It's actually the week after, but we had one extra episode because of our New Year's Eve special.
Oh, we're not counting our random pop-ups?
I don't think we've had a pop-up. I mean, that was the only pop-up, the New Year's Eve special.
Oh, okay, cool.
So in 2 episodes, it'll be our 1 year anniversary. We'll do something like drink a whole bunch of cut water or something.
Fresh.
Oh, maybe we can get a musical guest.
Let's not.
No, let's not.
IB says Jaden reminds him of Worf's son, Alexander Roshenko.
Yes.
He was another unwarrior Klingon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Until
think so,
he wasn't.
But I think
He eventually became.
Alexander was sheltered from the beginning.
Yeah.
I think that's why Alexander is non.
Right, because Jaden was raised by Klingons, but Alexander was raised by humans.
Right, and Worf. You know,
Mostly
and it
humans.
probably doesn't help that Worf lost every single woman that he ever loved or anything, got killed. So, you know.
What do we think about that little faux space battle they had with the USS Riker?
I saw that.
I guess it did the trick, right?
It reminded me of Tuvok on Voyager having to deal with the Pon farr and having to resort to a holodeck. That's the feeling that I got. I was like, clearly this is fake. Clearly they know it's fake. And it's like one of those. It's literally like what I was saying. It is a throwback to your grandparents, Klingons. We have to do this. We're gonna totally fake it, but from anyone on the outside looking in, we totally fucked you guys up and we conquered this planet.
100%.
Even though no one was hit, no one was injured,
right?
No one got a scratch. There's no repair orders on either side. We're just really shitty shots right now. We're all wearing our stormtrooper helmets, so we couldn't hit anything.
Like no one everything was low yield.
Yeah.
Set phasers to stun on the starship level.
Right,
but
right.
It worked. But it worked. You know, it's good
You know what? Don't turn off the phasers. Just emit light beams in a general direction.
Super high beams.
Yeah.
Fire.
Somebody turn on engage fog lights.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, but there was also that weird tension between Captain Nala Ake and the Klingon ambassador dude.
That wasn't weird. That was an ex-hook. That was a hookup.
Yes.
That was.
But why don't they just say it? Like,
because you can't say that, man. That you cannot. That's like saying. That's like finding out that Uhura hooked up with a Klingon on Kirk's Enterprise.
What?
You can't do that. They're from that generation where you can't say nothing. We all know it.
And here's another thing that bugs me. And I know I talked about this last week where Captain Nala Ake, like, they try to paint her in this light that she's done all this important stuff, but they don't really bring any of it up. Like, okay, like, so she wants to walk around barefoot. She wants to sit in the captain's chair weird, like, you know, like she's on a papasan chair. But like, can you at least start to tell us like what contributions has she made? You know, like they hint at these things. And I think what they're trying to do is paint her as like a Dax. Like,
you know what? Like, I was just about to say that. I was like, was she around when Dax was there? Because they're telling old stories.
Right. But but with the Dax stories, they always brought up details. Like they would tell you what happened and you would hear it from either the Cisco perspective or like some old Klingons perspective. Like all these people could vouch for all the things that Dax did. And, you know, Dax made a lot of contributions as an ambassador or something. But when it comes to Captain Nala Ake, like, can you at least give us a little hint of some of her accomplishments?
When did you put 5 on it, Ake?
Yeah. I know you pulled a prank when you were in the academy.
Yeah,
okay.
You
did a prank.
Involved in that.
Right, but that's very much it.
Yeah.
But are you trying to say you're at the Curzon Dax level of living all this, you know, like you're about the same age as the Dax symbiont when it was in Jadzia. Where are you going? Oh, wow. Be careful out there. It's like -2 degrees.
Oh, that's why I couldn't see. I have my glasses on. It's way too close for that. Cool. Was it cool? SIL? Isn't that Crewman Cherry?
That's Crewman Cherry.
Crewman Cherry says the musical episode of TT
she wants us to have a musical
was fun,
guest.
regardless of what Magic says.
Magic only says that because he wasn't here.
What musical? Are you talking about when the girl was there?
Yeah.
When the girl was singing?
Yeah.
I never said it wasn't fun.
It's different when you're not here. When you're here, it is fun. Because it's like a little party here.
Okay. I mean, it's one thing to say it's fun there. I mean, but when you don't
it's not fun
that
remote.
It's fun,
yeah,
and no one else comes on the screen where I get to meet people or anything, then it's kind of like, oh, I guess I'll take your word for it. At least at New Year's, Patty was like, "Hey, how you doing?" You know.
Yeah, well, and that's Sherry's fault because she didn't go over and say hi to you.
Right, man. I'm just sitting there like, ooh, that looks so much fun. Look how cool that chair looks that no one is in.
Well,
I'm playing, Sherry. I'm playing.
You know, Chief Scott had brought a whole bunch of victuals, so everyone was busy eating.
Right.
The meatballs and stuff. Okay, so we talked about this weird, the old Klingon flame, and some people were calling him an albino Klingon, but I think he was just old. You know?
No, I had a question on that as well. Was he part of what's her faces? Was he one of the albino Klingons? Because I mean, he was very light skinned.
He was. And maybe that was something that happened because of the burn.
I don't think that happened because of the burn.
Maybe
Or
his dad was a Kelpian.
Or was his family part of the families that have lineage to the smooth foreheads?
Krach. Ash Tyler.
From no, not the Ash Tyler. No, so in the original, they explain why in the original Star Trek, the Klingons all look like regular humans, and they explain that in the episode of Enterprise because of Soong and that virus. And they're like, oh, well, the only way to fix this, you know, you got to wear it out. You know, eventually you may get your ridges back or whatever, but it's going to be generations going forward. Is he part of that lineage where, you know, it just runs strong in their family? You know, some smooth foreheads got together and it's just deep. And then the other question was this: how come none of the Klingons shaved their heads? Because they were going to war. You would think they would have shaved their heads and gone back to the Discovery style Klingons, because they said The Discovery style Klingons didn't have hair because, and Worf explained this, because in wartime you shave your head. And in peacetime you don't.
Right.
You were going
Maybe
to
it was
war.
harder to shave between the ridges.
I think they just do like laser style, like how Superman would shave. Or they would just be like computer, shave head.
Yeah.
Remove hair follicles.
Like a tricorder. Medical tricorder.
Medical
that
tricorder.
Awesome. That'd be awesome.
I said medical tricorder. All right.
By the way, hey, shout out to the guy that designed our Technically Trek shirt, one of our Technically Trek shirts.
Wasn't that you?
That was me. I was giving a self.
Oh, that's sharp looking.
Giving himself a shout out. He got copyrighted on
My
it.
AK. I don't know if this is the one that got.
got
I don't think this
banned.
is the one that got it because this just has a weird star in the middle, not the Star Trek one. I don't know.
Oh.
They fulfilled the order anyway. So, Volk, aka Ash Tyler,
We need
leader of
some
Section
Ash Tyler.
31. And then I had a question too about that as well. Klingons live extremely long. Ash Tyler was a Klingon. Does he live that same kind of age, like to the 200s and 300s?
Yeah.
Or because he's in human form, does he have a human lifespan? Exactly.
Hey,
Like
before
General Kang and Discovery.
You know, before the slide before this, the burn was big. Speaking of big, did anybody notice how
That is not how you...
huge? God, what's the guy's name? The Klingons, the cadet Klingon feet were as big as they were when he walked up to the podium.
Hey,
Nope.
pineapples.
Nope.
Pineapples, dude.
Pineapple?
Didn't notice.
Where is your mind at?
Dude, because...
Oh, and we talked about this. Oh, another thing that in this article is bringing up that the hologram, the EMH, says chicken shit.
Why? He is arrogant. You know, just because you're so old and I don't know.
But to me, the older you get, the less likely you would be to say chicken shit.
I mean,
I think
I'm
you would
older
still
than
say
both
it,
of you
but
guys.
you would say it in the right context.
I'm right. I'm older than both of you guys. Would I put you down and and say chicken shit? I think it's arrogant.
It doesn't seem very EMH like.
And
sounds
speaking
like
of
bad
EMH,
It sounds like a child trying to cuss for the first time.
Yeah.
And doesn't know how to cuss. It's like playing a little kid on Call of Duty, honestly.
Yep.
Because he doesn't use his curse words. And a lot of them don't use their cussing in the right, I don't want to say the right, in a proper vernacular means. Like, it's just, you're not using the word correctly. Like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't call bullshit chicken shit. You would call it bullshit.
Right.
Don't bullshit me. You wouldn't say don't chicken shit me.
and as a pro in EMH program, wouldn't it be the best of the best of the best? Would you even have to add that word chicken shit?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. And here right now, you and I having this conversation is an example of the generational gap. You feel that cussing is unwarranted and shows a lack of knowledge or a lack of education.
But I'm older than you. I should be able to say chicken shit.
That's irrelevant to what I'm talking about. My generation
No,
uses
I'm
cuss
older
words
than
to
you.
show
I have
my generation
so
shows
much life
cussing.
experience. That's
Hold on,
my.
hold on. Hey.
I should be able to say chicken shit.
Okay, great. You don't. That's like you saying, "Hey, I'm gonna daft you up." It doesn't sound right because you don't know the right context to use it in. But for you to say someone shouldn't cuss or shouldn't use a curse word, my generation, Gen X, that shows how important something is. If I say, well, first, before I even say this, Tom, is this going to ruin our likelihood of monetization or anything? If
No.
All right. If I
Because
say,
you've already said fuck like 20 times, so it doesn't
Okay.
matter.
I haven't said fuck at all this episode.
You have actually.
Fuck do.
Okay, well, all right, well, fucking shit. I use fuck. I use cussing. It shows the emphasis on how passionate we are about what we're talking about. It shows this is very, very important. If I'm saying, look, get this fucking shit together or this is not going to fucking work, that means if you don't do this, this is going to fail. It is not just a failure. It is an epic failure. It's not just an epic failure. It's an epic fucking failure.
But in
We're
1100
all going
years,
to fucking die.
In 1100 years, and
Now
and
you don't hear that level of cussing from the EMH,
right?
but the EMH should know from the eons
Exactly.
of human history how to use the word chicken shit in the right context.
Mgyx, I knew you would agree with that. So down through the ages, I guess the teachers or commanders or whatever, they would always downgrade or degrade the cadets, and that's to strengthen them. So don't you agree?
Oh, IB brought up the EMH where it took a split path, right? So there was a backup copy of the EMH
Yes.
that went, I guess it went with another species that had some way to travel back to the Alpha Quadrant quicker.
Wait, isn't there 3?
Can you make
Because
it a
there's
little
an
bit
Well, and I guess
wait.
the
So
theory
there's
is
there's an episode where he goes to a species and they're like, "Oh, Voyager destroyed this planet. We have the recordings," and they get it back up of the EMH off of a tricorder as well. So isn't there 3? I know that, and maybe I'm just thinking of the same episode then, because I know. Remember, there was one where the EMH could travel ahead and get to the Alpha Quadrant, but there was also the one where the EMH comes across this destroyed planet, and it turns out Voyager is how it was destroyed, and it's basically in the future saying, hey, this is how we perceive Voyager now. They caused this whole thing. Was that the original split one that we're talking about, or is that the original Doctor that split again?
No, I think the original Doctor is the one that stayed on the ship, and then a copy went off on another ship that eventually made it back to the Alpha Quadrant. So the theory is, which Doctor is in Starfleet Academy? Is it the original that was on Voyager, or is it the copy that went with that other species?
Or is it just a third one? Because at the end of that one of those episodes, they see a bunch of the Doctors mining like on Mars or something like that. Because
And it just made me think of something. Eventually, that EMH went to a bunch of ships. So how do we know which? I mean, obviously, he's talking like he's the EMH that was on Voyager because he's telling Voyager stories.
Exactly.
But ultimately, every starship got an EMH.
Exactly. And once they get back in the Alpha Quadrant, don't they all kind of sync up? So is this
No.
is this one of
Do they become like a hive mind?
EMHs?
Like the EMH is like a Borg of its own.
Yeah, you would think so.
Or at least have a big ass database that they all shared.
That's what I'm saying. They all synchronize.
Oh, we got to play this new Shatner Super Bowl ad that's coming out this Sunday.
Wow.
Okay.
We might get copyrighted, but
Wait. I probably need volume on something, and then hold on.
No, you'll hear it. If you can hear us, you'll hear this.
And am I going to hear it through Ninja?
Yeah.
I'd hear nothing.
Will Shad here, bringing fiber to the masses with Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Duty calls.
Duty. He said
Will
duty.
Shat?
Every darn day.
Whoa.
Will Shad in the house.
Will Shat.
Fiber time.
That's
Is
awesome.
that Dr. Shih Tzu? Perfect.
Will Shat on the car!
You're too old for this, say. Kellogg's Raisin Bran. High fiber, happy gut.
Oh,
So
sweet.
so he'll be on the Super Bowl adds rotation, I guess.
Okay.
IB says that EMH was the Mark 1 EMH. Dr. Zimmerman. Let's go to the next slide. I think it's important too. Oh! All you guys who have Apple Watches, there is an LCARS theme for it now.
Huh.
Hey, look, they're only like 10 years behind. There was an Android there was an Android smartwatch that had an LCARS screen set up a really long time ago. And it wasn't an Apple, it wasn't a Galaxy. It was literally just a cheap little 49 Temu or Instagram smartwatch. And it had LCARS.
But did it have a warp core?
Yeah.
Look at all them buttons. Look at all the things you can do. You can disengage warp, engage warp, full stop.
How much does that cost?
It's free.
It's free?
Yeah, I think so. Just download it.
That's the best price.
Hey,
Oh,
Paramount,
okay.
just a hint. If you're listening, Paramount, through the AI versions, you should make a Biggers. That is a ALEXA voice
that's
assistant
right.
using the Star Trek as a theme. Like you can
Yeah,
have the
like a
computer
persona.
talk and have alarm sounds and
Yeah, that would
things
be
like
cool.
that.
All right. We're going to step away from Starfleet Academy for a second, and we are going to talk about the 7 most rewatchable episodes of all time.
Now, is this for all brands?
Everything.
Okay.
Everything.
Do we are we doing this like?
We're going to try to guess.
Are we versus this, or are we just going to do like you name your 7, you name your 7, or are we putting together a dream team?
Of any series. That Brad?
Yep,
HBS?
that's Happy Bastard Brad.
Okay. This is any Star Trek. So let's just take a look at number 7 and we'll kind of get a sense of where. And this is from comicbook.com. It came out in an article. What was that, yesterday?
That was great.
7.
That was great.
So I used to think this was a joke episode, but as I mentioned earlier, this explains the OG Klingon smooth foreheads. They don't talk about it.
Yeah. This episode is actually really good. It's better than the TOS version of the Tribble episode.
Yes.
Because how they play on it and how they interact with the original crew, man, that is, and to think about this episode being made in the late 90s.
Yes. Yeah. It was
How
smooth.
it's so well integrated. And I'm not
Yes.
talking about like, I'm saying like it's not even really CGI. It's using old school photography tricks. It's not really
Right.
using green screening. It's using like glass and superimposing. And like they did that so well and seamlessly. If it were CGI, you could clearly make out a shape from the early 2000s. You can't see that now. Obviously, look at Avengers, but look at the years when this came out. That Avengers level CGI didn't exist. This was straight up old school tricks, and it works so well and so awesome.
I mean, the technology, the effects they did in this episode, I mean, we could do that in our homes now.
on our phones.
Yeah, our phones can do this, but back then it was cutting edge.
One existed.
yes.
All right, let's check out. That's number 7. Number 6. See, IB thought this would be number 1.
Yeah. Oh, I thought we were just talking about the top 7. Like I didn't.
No,
think
we
it-
are. We're talking about the top 7. This is number 6. We just did 7 was the tribbles.
Oh, I didn't know we were ranking them in order. I
No,
mean,
no,
shit.
no. This is comicbook.com's list.
I mean, yesterday's Enterprise is good.
No, it's very good.
I just found another movie that has her in it. Like, I guess it was either right before she did Enterprise or right afterwards. I was like, hey, that's Tasha Yar. It was a cheesy movie though.
I mean, I probably would have liked to see this a little higher.
I mean, it answers a couple of questions from multiple generations. It answers what happened to the Enterprise C. It answers kind of what happens with Tasha going forward, or what possibly could have. I really wish they had found a way to bring her back into the fold and be a regular crew member on the regular Enterprise somehow, but
IB.
like I said,
IB. Are you saying that City on the Edge of Forever will be number one? Because I will give you a spoiler. It is on the list, but it's not number one.
okay, keep going. Well, IB, where are you putting that?
The Pale Moonlight. I mean, this is definitely top 5.
This is the end of the Dominion War, isn't it?
No. This is the
I
one
lied,
where
I cheated, I murdered.
yeah, but they kill that. Garak kills the Romulan ambassador to
Right.
get them to join on the Federation side against the Dominion.
This one's okay. Really, his speech I guess either at the beginning when he says, I've killed, I've cheated. That's the part that kind of sticks out. The argument about, when Garrick's like, when they're like, oh, the ambassador's dead, and Cisco punches him. I was like, motherfucker, you knew what I was about.
Right. Garak said,
About
this is
about
why
it."
you brought me into the conversation, because
Right.
you knew I would do this. You knew I would do what needed to be done.
Something like an there.
Endgame. Voyager. I will say I could watch this over and over. I can watch this over and over.
Chief Scott, PBG. Oh, is that why PBG's not talking and he's already ordering the watch?
He's trying to download that face.
Endgame was okay. Man, I can't put Endgame over All Good Things.
No. Endgame, I guess the thing about these is they're good like to watch every couple of years. It's like the last time I watched Endgame was probably a couple months ago. And I mean, I enjoyed it because before that I hadn't watched it for probably a year.
Yeah.
So like once a year, these are really good to watch.
I guess that's, I don't know. You're right, because I have rewatched Voyager, the entire series, at least 3 times now. But Endgame just leaves too many unanswered questions for me. And maybe that's why it's kind of dropped in the rank. I love how they get back home and all of that. It's enjoyable to watch as enjoyment. But I find it, every time I rewatch it, I usually find another question that was never answered.
Yeah, I mean, I will say the thing about Endgame is it doesn't really tap into any emotions. It's just good excitement. It's a good versus evil type thing.
Right.
And they make it home, and that's good. But it's not one of those emotional episodes like we're going to see here in the top 3.
Okay, what's the next one? Yep.
The Inner Light.
I was about to say the Inner Light, definitely one.
This one taps into emotion for sure.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, this episode's crazy. I mean, when you watch this episode, you're just like, damn.
So clearly this is all about the golden era. None of the new ones are in here.
They didn't make the cut.
Or the
Okay.
OG.
These are all these are just there was no criteria. It's just, this article just came out yesterday. So it could have been any Star Trek up until yesterday.
I think it's biased on who writes it and when they saw it and the level of nostalgia that affects it.
I mean, Pick an episode that from new Star Trek that you would have put on this list.
I'm thinking the OG episodes, you know.
Well,
we haven't completed.
We still got more to go. You want the next one? Let's look at the next one.
There's a couple. Honestly, the one with where Una is on trial and Pike has to get her friend, the lawyer. That one was that one, yeah. I would have put that on this list.
I would put that top 10. I don't know if it would bump any of these.
Honestly, it might bump the DS9 one, but it kind of goes right along with it.
Bump the DS9 Pale Moonlight or Tribbles?
I think. Oh, shit. It would probably bump Tribble. The Tribble one is technologically better, but story-wise, emotionally.
Cisco face-to-face with Kirk? Come on now.
Dude. I would have bumped the entire list. I would have changed this from a top 10, not a top 7. That's what I would have done. I would have said, list. You can't drop any of them. You need to add 3 more.
Yeah. Yeah, they could have just did a top 10, I guess.
Okay. Let's keep going. All right. So City of the Edge of Forever.
All right, who wants to take a guess at number 1?
All Good Things. PBG?
Yeah. All Good Things was good. Really good.
Chad, who are you going to put in number 1? This is comicbook.com's list. Don't go cheating and looking it up. Who did they pick as the number 1 episode of Star Trek of all time?
There's a lot of
IV Mirrors.
Yeah, a mirror episode would have been good to have on the list. This might shock some people what they picked.
It's going to be Enterprise.
Oh.
Locutus.
That was good.
Wolf 359.
It happened.
I was kind of surprised that this was their top pick.
I don't think I could put this as a top 10. It was a good episode, but
I wouldn't have put it as number 1 because it didn't really. It sparked no emotion with me.
Exactly.
I mean, it was action packed. I did like to see Riker running the show. I mean, it's always good to watch Riker running the show, but
it had some. It honestly, and I think I heard this somewhere. It felt like it was going to be a stepping stone to a spinoff.
Yeah.
In which case, that would have been a great stepping stone to a Riker spinoff. But as a top 10 or top 7 episode, yeah, I got to go no. There's no.
Yeah, I would have shifted a few things around. Like
I would have put the DS9 episode where Cisco is jumping back and forth in time between being the writer and being in a coma.
Yeah, the Visitor.
The Visitor was a good one. Enterprise, where similarly Archer, it shows a future Archer and T'Pol's taking care of him. Or the DS9 where they go to the planet where it's all Dax's fault, where they meet their descendants. And
that would have been good too.
The Archer one where T'Pol's taking care of him in the future, or the one where they meet their generational ship and they end up having to leave themselves. The generation ship stays behind to ward off whatever so they can make a rendezvous, and we never know what happens to them.
What about the Enterprise one where they have to make a clone of Tucker and then they end up having to kill that clone?
Having to kill Tucker? Yes, that would have been a good one as well.
Because those are emotional episodes.
Like, shit, man, you got to kill Trip?
Was this
what did
only
Trip ever
the
do to you?
TV series or the movies or both?
Just the TV series episodes. Yeah, because that clone of Tucker, man, that clone of Tucker wanted to live, but they
He
were
was
like,
like,
look,
"Yo,
we
I
got to
only got
take your
7 days."
organs.
Girl, let me tell you how I feel about you. I only got a few more days to live.
Yep.
He came out with a straight Timmy T. Girl, you know I want to dance with you.
Time after time.
I mean, there are PVD. What episode would you pick that was not on this list?
We might have to make that. We might just have to do a homework assignment.
Nope, no homework.
Oh,
Off
on the
cuff.
spot. On the
On the spot, at least one episode you would put on the list. Original thoughts only.
To be honest with you, it's hard for me to remember.
I get that.
Not the.
He's up in them numbers.
Yeah, I mean it's just hard. You know, there's.
That's what she said.
The ones that I remember the most is TOS.
It doesn't matter what episode, what series.
Gary 7. I like the one with Gary 7 in it.
Yeah. Is that the cartoon animated?
No, with
Gary Mitchell?
Lockwood, Gary Lockwood. There was an Apollo rocket getting ready to go up, and and what's that gal? The blonde gal's name?
Oh,
she was. It was good, and there was a cat involved, and.
Dude, you literally just scraped together like 4 episodes.
No, it wasn't. It was all in one episode. That was a good one.
All right. So Gary Mitchell, are you talking about the actor or the character's name?
Not Gary Mitchell.
Are you talking about the actor's name or the character's name?
I wanted to say actor's name, Gary Lockwood.
Okay. What character did he play?
Was he a baby?
No, he was a dude.
Was he the one that looked like Apollo?
He was from the
Apollo.
He was from the future, and he had that little pen that was similar to Doctor Who's.
Yeah, I don't think so. Did he play a character named Apollo?
No.
Karen
So what
McLeod says
Apollo?
the inner light should be called the gaslight.
Why?
All right.
Why? I don't get that. What is a gaslighting?
I don't get it either.
Encounter at 4
Gaslighting getting
point.
old?
Gary 7.
Gary 7. That's it. Mr. Sci-Fi.
All right, I gotta look that up because it may be one of the ones that it may be in a season I haven't watched it.
Trekbot's got a fun fact. The Generation ship Enterprise was mentioned before the episode
Okay.
E2.
Thank you, Trekbot.
Gary, all right,
Zindi
so I know what you're
version of
talking about.
rumors of a second
Fun
Earth ship.
fact: Gary 7 is the major character in the last episode of the second season of the original Star Trek series. Assignment Earth is the name of this. Is the name of the episode. That was actually a backdoor pilot for a completely different TV show that
Gary
failed.
7.
Dang.
And he played like he had like I've seen part of the episode. Yeah, he had like a little pen, and he had a apartment that would transform to like a command center.
His assistant, her first name was Terry. Her real name was, I can't think of her last name.
And the theme song was "Who's Gary?"
You know,
Yes, that's what it was. It was who's Gary.
Well, no, we weren't talking zesty like that.
yeah, dude. Yeah.
But
Again, you took it left.
yeah.
All right. So, what makes that? Are you saying that's just a good entertaining
I thought it was
episode, or
great.
did it evoke emotional?
Terry Garth. That's it.
Trekbot knows.
IB, he's a man.
Trekbot knows things.
IB is.
Well, he's from New York City.
IB, when you, if
He's
you're
got
ever in
fast
this neck of the
internet.
woods, we got a seat for you.
Oh yeah, IB, you should come out to St. Louis and visit.
New episode pick SNW crossover with LD called Those Old Scientists. What is crossover with LD? What is LD?
Measure of a Man. Oh,
Data's
damn. That's a good episode. Wow. Well, Measure of a Man is kind of on parallel with the Una Chin Riley.
Yeah. Data's got to defend himself.
Yep. Yeah, those are good episodes, though. Those are both good episodes.
Karen McLeod and the Clan McLeod.
There can be only one.
Thank you. You said an SNW crossover with LD. I'm having a hard time placing what LD is.
That's PVG. Learning Disabled.
Called Those Old Scientists.
Oh, shit.
Oh, Those Old Scientists. Yes.
That's me.
That's
I
an
don't remember
episode.
Yeah, but it's a crossover with what, though? I guess it would have to be a crossover with Discovery. Maybe it is time that I go back and rewatch the new series because
Maybe it is.
I don't remember. I remember the title, Those Old Scientists, but I don't remember what the actual episode was, like what it was about. And I'm about to find out.
You'll have to refamiliarize.
Strange
Yeah,
New
here's the
World,
damn
Season
first.
2, Episode 7. Oh! Thank you. Yes, and yes.
Balance
So,
of Terror is
Those Old
good.
Scientists is a crossover with Lower Decks. I don't know why I keep forgetting Lower Decks. Yes, you are absolutely right, Karen McLeod of the Clan McLeod. Karen McLeod of the Clan McLeod.
There can be only one.
Yes, Lower Decks, and that crossover is awesome on so many different levels. It is Star Trekky and is also very comedic. I love that episode.
That should be up there.
That should definitely be on there.
I mean, I don't know who we're bumping, but that is a good episode.
I mean, honestly, it may get to a point where we need to just make this a top 20 and then worry about that because we got to have room to cut stuff off because we've already mentioned several episodes that got to be on the list and they're not.
Yeah. I mean, IB's got Balance of Terror. Balance of Terror is like the first real space battle.
Right.
And I mean, how do you not put the first real space battle on the list?
Thank you. I was going to mention something real quick because you mentioned the first real space battle. I mentioned something. Why didn't they play the Klingon battle tune before Jaden went to trial? That would have been better. That would have been
like
awesome.
walkout music. He should have had some walkout music.
Because every time every time there's a Klingon battle, they always do the the horns that always come along with Klingons. And it's like, oh shit, it's about to get real. Klingons about to fuck some shit up. They should have played that tune like as part of the soundscape of that scene. The Romulans have one as well, but I just don't remember it.
I mean, are the Romulans by Starfleet Academy? Is the Romulans even a thing? I thought they moved back into Navarre with the
I think
Vulcans.
they're they mentioned Romulans
Okay.
on the show, but they also mentioned Vulcans. So I guess it's like we're all humans, but you're white, I'm black, he's Asian, he's Mexican. I guess it's just
Don't forget the
delineating
Jews.
the interspecies of the planets.
Cause and effect.
Oh, that's the one. That's the one where the threes you either go with Riker's maneuver, blowing the shuttle bay, or Data's. Yeah, that's the one with the Bozeman, isn't it?
The only way you can really create a good top 10 list is to have freshly watched everything.
And that's damn near impossible to freshly watch everything.
Yeah,
And
because
then-
I've just watched, I'm in season 7 of DS9 and I'm on, I think, episode 14. And honestly, I can't even remember season 3 or 2 or 1.
I remember key episodes that I liked out of those seasons.
Yeah.
But I don't remember all the details. Like I said, I'm a Star Trek fan. I'm not a fanatic. We have fanatics that are like, oh, you mean this episode? It's this episode, this season, this episode, and here's a synopsis. Like, dude, how the fuck do you know that just off the rip? Like, Fuck,
I mean,
you
you
didn't have
got
to look
we got one in the chat right here, at least one.
IB.
I'm not saying, IB is Trekbot, but I'm just saying. Trekbot AI.
I think IB is AI.
Yeah, Happy Bastard says might need to make a top 5 episode from each series. You can't make a top 5 episode for each series because the series run for different amounts of seasons, and some of them have multiple episodes that don't even make a top 5. There needs to be you would have to do like a top 10 or just a top and leave off the number. Here are the top TNG episodes. Here are the top Voyager episodes, and just list the top ones. And that list could be 10, it could be 12, it could be 5. For Tom, some could be 0.
I mean, I think the best way to do it though is just to we would each create our own list, and then we just drop the comparison, right? Like, just say, okay, what's your number 1 overall? Is it All Good Things? Is it Endgame or what?
Well, PVT, you haven't seen all the series yet, have you? You haven't watched Enterprise or DS9 or Voyager, all of those yet, have you?
I've watched all of Enterprise.
He gave me the DVDs, the Blu-rays.
What about Voyager? Have you
All
finished
of
Voyager
TOS.
yet?
I'm pretty sure Voyager. I don't think DS9.
And season 1, disc 1 from Enterprise that you gave me must have a scratch on it because I can't rip it. It tells me I can't read it. Got to take better care of your Blu-ray.
You know what?
Take better care of your Blu-rays, man. That way, when you loan them out, that the people you loan them out to will be able to enjoy them.
Gosh, have better equipment.
Look, man.
I got a Shang Shu Blu-ray reader.
That's who I got.
You
it
need to
from.
go ahead and
Wang.
get that DVR-W out of the closet that had the hard drive in it. Play it on that. That'll play any region.
No, it won't because it's a Blu-ray. These are Blu-rays.
Oh, man. I don't think that.
Almost everything PVG dropped off. He gave me this big box of Star Trek, and it was all Blu-rays, except for one thing.
I think Blu-ray is overrated.
No. The Blu-rays are good because they're in 1920 by 1080. They're HD. Right. But anything on DVD, the maximum is going to be 480, which is terrible.
Just need better readers, I guess. I don't know.
No, my reader's pretty good, and I've actually cracked the firmware so that it would, I don't know, it did something special to the firmware. Yeah, so I can read any region and I can copy anything.
You don't have a buffer or cleaner or something?
I've already tried.
Buffing it? Oh.
Yeah, I've already tried. I've used my silicone toy cleaner and everything, and nothing's working.
Where you could take your CDs into a place or in the mall and drop them off and get them all buffed out. And
all they did was re-record it with the burner.
No, there were people in the malls that would have these machines with a buffer, soft cushion. They put polishing wax on it. It would buff out the scratches. Rich and Letty did it for a little bit out of their shop. I was like, man, they had a little drill press. I'm like, oh, I'm not fucking with that. I
always thought they just re-recorded it off of a LimeWire copy, and they just recreated your DVD for you.
They did professional. If you bought a CD at Best Buy and it got scratched up, you could bring your CD in and pay them X amount of dollars, and they would buff out the scratches. I thought that was
up to a point, though. A scratch. The data is gone. If you scratch
it too deep, but a lot of times you're not scratching the silver lining.
Yeah, you're just scratching the
plexi part.
Liner, yeah. All right.
But I think I definitely think that would. I think we tried that once before, and we never finished the list of the top episodes. But yeah, I think we need to do a top episodes, but. I think PVG would have to be caught up on everything, so this is never going to happen because he's never going to finish watching any of them.
I got too much shit and too many things.
Well, I've got most of your Blu-rays copied. So
Mgyx.
But you can always watch it on Paramount Plus.
Right?
Did Tommy tell you what I bought?
New medical tricorder.
No, it's bigger than that.
The
No, you
Lego
told
Enterprise?
everybody. I think you sent everybody a picture of it.
I don't know if I said 1977 GMC Palm Spring.
Are you talking about your
Palm
RV?
Beach,
Your
yes, Palm Beach
shaggin'
motorhome.
wagon?
Yeah.
You sent that to
your
everybody.
escape from which mountain
Yes,
replica?
No,
I
it's-
remember that movie.
From Stripes.
It's Epstein Island on wheels.
Exactly. I'm like, I don't know if I want to talk about that. I'm like, dude.
Booyah!
And he's having a stripper
runs
pole
on
installed.
baby oil.
Yeah.
It doesn't
No,
run on
Martin.
gas. It runs on baby oil.
Baby.
He's got the Diddy.
He's having all the
edition.
windows removed.
It's all blacked out. Yeah.
He's getting a
got
wrap
four-
made up for it.
Yeah, with soundproof panels.
4 stripper
Sponsored by
poles.
Johnson and Johnson on the back.
Oh man. They're gonna have vending machines, nothing but M&M's, chocolate M&M's, peanut butter.
It leaves a
peanut
trail of
M&Ms.
Reese's Pieces behind it.
There you have it,
Oh
folks.
no. All right, so I have a question for you, and I wanted to save it till we got into this. When did you watch the last episode of Starfleet Academy? Like, what day did you watch it? At midnight on Wednesday, the day of, or did you watch it like an hour before the show?
I mean, I was already asleep. I wasn't able to stay up till like midnight on Wednesday. But I did wake up early the next day because normally I wake up early for work at like 6 a.m. So I did start watching it, but it was a tough watch. So I think I had to put it on pause and try to watch it again later when I could just sit there and try to force focus. But it's getting a little tougher to watch these episodes.
BBJ, when did you watch it?
I watched it Saturday and then again today, Sunday. And, you know, like Tommy said, more focused. And, I even took notes.
Oh, wow. Look at you. I didn't hear you talking about those notes, though.
No,
I watched it Saturday afternoon because I totally forgot about it. Mm-hmm. Like, I was like,
Yeah, I mean, life
up
gets
until
in
the
the way.
last three, I was like, all right, cool. Hey, there's a new Star Trek. And this time I was like, oh, shit, there's a new Star Trek. Okay, I got to watch that at some point. Like, it's not giving me
Right.
the motivation to hop in. Like, oh, shit. Like, if there was a new Battlestar Galactica or a new Stargate, I'm like, oh, shit, I'm watching this shit. Oh, let me call out of work because I'm watching it at midnight. I'm probably going to rewatch it again. You know, I don't get that anymore from this new Star Trek. So that's kind of how I'm ranking it. I gave it, what, a 4.7 or a 4.1 before?
On last week's
Was it a 4.7? I think it was.
4.9
I'm dropping that to a 4.2.
on
No,
this one.
dropping it to 4.1. I've lost some
4.1.
motivation to want to watch it.
I'm gonna go even a little lower, man. I'm really losing. I'd probably go 3.9 on this one. It's getting tough. I mean, it is almost to the point where I might just, if we didn't talk about it on this show, I would consider just waiting until the season was over and then just trying to watch them all at once. And
Right.
then maybe it would be better because then you would just see the final, like you would get
could
to
see
your
the natural
destination.
progression
Yeah.
of what's next.
But see, right now
versus
we have
leaving
too
a
much
week.
time. Like when they go week to week, this is why a couple weeks ago I said Paramount should just drop all the episodes at once, because what happens now is you got heavy hitter people on the internet, on YouTube especially, like big channels who are just giving this -10 scores. They're like killing this show, calling it trash, and they're getting like millions of views. Like the people that are criticizing this show and giving it bad reviews are getting millions of views. People aren't even watching this show because they trust these reviewers. And I tend to agree with a lot of what they say. Like, this is tough to watch. Like, there are some good moments in these episodes,
Yeah.
But 9 out of 10 of the moments are not good. There might be one good moment. I mean, it took me 2 watches for the last 2 episodes. The 3rd episode I had to watch twice. And this episode, I didn't even bother watching twice. I watched it once in broken periods. Like I watched 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there, 30 minutes, finally got through it. But I wasn't going to watch it again because it wasn't good enough to put that much time
I haven't watched it
into
again at all. I just watched, like I said, however long it took to get to the part where they were doing the hand holding and motivation. I was watching it up to about halfway through that. And then I was like, this is not going to be an action-packed episode. I don't need to look at the screen. And I started playing Call of Duty and listening. And then when I heard silence, I was like, oh, did my stream stop? Did something wrong with Paramount? And it was like, no, it's just a quiet scene. Let me go back. And I'm like, okay. I have to watch the scene. Maybe there's some dialogue that I need to watch. And then I was like, nope, this is the Cowardly Lion. This is the Wizard of Oz that I was talking about before. It had its moment that we knew was coming, and my immediately thought was Tom called this. Fish Boy and Jaden hooking up. I did not see the small twist of him reject him, but I could see why. Internal debates, whatever, not knowing who he is. And then everything else was like, yeah, he's going to fight. He's going to come back. He's going to do the speech. And something that he comes up with is going to lead the Klingons settling in on this planet. I don't need to watch the screen. And I literally went back to playing Call of Duty. And then I started streaming on my own with my own stream while I'm watching that. And I was like, there's nothing in here other than the backstory of Jaden and how he found out about the Federation. That was kind of it.
Yeah. I mean, he's just not that interesting to me. His story is not that interesting. I mean, when was the last time you heard something like, let's solve a problem by rerouting auxiliary power through the main deflector shield and initiate an inverse tachyon pulse? Like, there's no kind of problem solving like that going on here. It's all like, Jaden, you got to believe in yourself. It's like, is this an episode of Star Trek or is this an episode of,
This was straight up Dawson's Creek. This was a straight up Dawson's Creek episode.
Yes. I just, Qapla.
Maybe, and you know what? Okay. I'll give it to you that. You're only 4 episodes in out of 10. You've got 6 more. You need to come correct.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have time to bullshit.
I mean, the special
Bullies.
effects are good. The sets are so nice. The uniforms look good. Everything looks good. Everything is top tier, top notch.
Do something.
This is the best looking Star Trek, but the plot and the writing is just like, it's just tough. It's tough to get through.
I mean, at this point, shit, as cheesy as it sounds, you know what? Bring the Bozeman back in. Be like, hey, we're the Bozeman. We were caught up in another time warp.
Yeah, we need more time travel. Bring some people in to do some time. Bring in more EMHs, right? They got a Janeway EMH. Where's she at?
Bring in another EMH and have them debate each other or argue and be like, yo, I'm the EMH from the Delta Quadrant.
As long as it's not a Monchi.
I'm one of your EMHs that was left on a mining planet. We got to download. We have all your same memories up until that point, and now we're different. Do something like that, but man. And you know what? If you don't want to do that, show the Betazoid brother. Because those are 2 people I didn't see. I think I saw them once in the audience. I saw the Betazoid and the Betazoid brother. Outside of that, it was Jaden, Fish Boy, Langolier Mouth, and and what's
Barely. Not a lot of Langolier mouth.
so it was very Jaden
AKA
heavy.
Big Ange. Was that her name? Big Ange?
I don't know. I don't
From the
remember,
Housewives of New Jersey.
she's got all the Tifuses. So it's like, damn.
Yeah. You know, just go one way or the other then. You know what? Let's just go all One Tree Hill. And
Right,
let's just do it all. Let's just, you know,
Pick
take
a lane.
the Star Trek.
Pick
Yeah,
a
take the
lane.
Star Trek out of the equation and let's just go all One Tree Hill.
You know what? Just call it the Academy. Take Star Trek out of it. It's like, the ST, the Academy. Just take the word Star Trek out. So when I Google search it, and take out all ties. As you know what? Blow up the Academy. Have the Langoliers come in, eat the Academy so there's no ties to the past. Make a new Academy and just call it the Academy. And
They're
that's
gonna call
season
it,
2 as the show.
Chief Scott finally heard my joke about silicone toy cleaner. They're gonna rename it to a Friday Night Academy.
I mean,
Friday
they
Night
solved
Plasma.
the problem. The Klingons needed a planet. And this is why I said this was a Dawson's Creek 90210. They essentially had a talent show to save the Peach Pit.
And
Or
honestly,
they-
Jaden had nothing to do with them solving this problem.
yeah.
It had nothing to do with Jaden. It was all between, you know,
Jaden's contribution was you need to think. Jaden's contribution is a discovery problem. It is you need to solve a Klingon problem with a Klingon solution. It is literally the same thing like Burnham did in that first 2 episodes of Discovery, the Vulcan hello or the Klingon hello. You got to fight. You know they're gonna fight. You've known this for eons and whatnot. Stop trying to be basically Karens and Kevins and solve it on their own. So technically anyone could have came up with a solution. It just so happens that Jaden is the one that did because he was going through his own internal crisis on his own level of things. So this problem could have been solved by anyone.
we didn't get PVG score yet.
Probably 5.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
it was good character development for Jaden. The doctor, you know, he was pretty much belittling, you know, talking down, being arrogant. But that's pretty much happens all through the ages of, you know, being cadet instructors.
Yeah, but he was programmed to be that way.
Right.
By the
right.
original guy, because that's the original guy's personality, is that arrogance
Right.
and
Zimmerman.
yeah.
And then I think the probably the last, you know, at first I'm thinking the last 10 minutes of the Academy was real Star Trek, you know, how they solved a solution, you know, they let the Klingons think that, oh, we've captured this planet, you know, you're going to surrender, this planet is ours.
No, I don't think
was-
they can. See, that's what I found weird is
It was
even the
too easy.
Klingons knew that it was all
Yeah.
just fake.
Yeah.
So what difference did it
everybody
make?
knew it was fake, you know, I think,
Yeah.
what kind of bullshit
Because
is this?
that's where I said the generational gap is. Those are old school Klingons. And they said all we have left is our traditions
Yeah.
and things like that. So even though it was fake, if anyone from the outside point of view, i.e. the Romulans of old, what were the blue? The Orions of old.
Those
Yeah, if
are
anyone
the
from
green.
the outside were
the blue
looking
is
in, the
Andorians.
Klingons just defeated the humans in battle and conquered a planet. That's all it was. It was literally to save face.
Yeah.
I
And
think
now
the
you're
biggest
dealing with
part-
a generation. And this is the generation. This is why I said this part of it was very Klingon or very Star Trek. In which case, I didn't drop it. I didn't drop the score a full point. I just knocked off some points because that is what it shows the generational gap And like I said, and this is not to PBG directly, but PBG's older because you're not quite a boomer. You're a little bit older than a boomer. But the boomer-ish age
He's the
is all
silent
about
era.
saving face. Like you said, I'm older. You need to do this. I'm allowed to do this. It is the just because you're older, do as I say, not as I do.
PBG's
aspect.
dad was in the Civil War.
And the newer generation is more like we don't give a shit about that, but fine. If it's going to shut you old crazy bats up and let us get on with our day, we'll do it.
Yeah.
But eventually,
That's
people,
how we are.
The younger generation Klingons are going to be like, yeah, we don't give a fuck about that.
I think the best thing about this episode was character development for Jaden. Case closed. I mean, story-wise, for Star Trek, it is what it is.
I mean, I would still like to see.
That's dangerous. That mindset of it is what it is dangerous.
We're not going to get
true.
Star Trek
It is
like
what
it
it
used
is.
to be.
We don't have control over it, so it is what it is.
Exactly.
We can't change it. If I could change it, I would say, look, scrap the rest of season 1. We're gonna do mini 3-episodes of all the characters that we want to know how you got here. And the Starfleet Academy that you've seen so far is gonna start on season 2. The first season would be character development, showing you how this Klingon got where he was at, how Fishboy got where he was at, how Langolier Mouth grew up in her sheltered, privileged life, how the Betazoids did. And you could do 3 episodes for each of the primary characters and then make the last one be, hey, here's how we're all getting picked up. And that final episode is the bus, so to speak. Whatever the ship is, what is the name of their ship?
We're going on a trip.
The Athena. How the Athena is coming around and picking them all up. And then season 2 starts out with the first day at the Academy.
All right.
That would have been a better solution.
Hold on to that emotion and tell me, what specific thing do you want to see happen in the next episode? What can they do in the next episode to bump your score up to a 7?
I want to see 7 of 9.
Besides show Tilly
and I
and
want to see. Oh, all right. Here's 3 things. I want to see what happened to 7 of 9, because she's got Borg implants and nanos still in her. They would have survived. Technically speaking, they probably could be transported into another body like a golem, and that would have survived. They could bring in Data's body back as well. But I want to see what happened to Cisco. And I want to see, because they keep mentioning Bajor, but they don't mention DS9 or the wormhole. And Ake was on Bajor, which is right near the fucking wormhole. Why have we not seen the wormhole or DS9? Or the Cardassians at that?
PBG, what do you want to see in the next episode to bump your score up?
More character development, and I noticed this episode you didn't see the captain, with her foot up in the air.
Yeah, you did. She was in her. What? Didn't she do it?
No.
When the Klingon was in her room with her.
I don't think so.
Oh.
I believe they did. I believe it's in our contract to show her feet at least once
Every episode. She's got to show them little dust prints.
So more character development, and less, a little bit more respect for the chair. I don't care if you're.
What character do you want to see developed?
All of them. We started with Jaden. Let's see what's going on. The rest of them. Fish Boy. And
Oh, you know what? I want to see how Sam came to be.
Sam Kirk?
Taking away any
hologram.
the coolness of I'm going to focus this answer on just the current timeline, nothing from the past. I want to see how Sam came to be from the EMH. Is she one of the holograms? Is she a photonic from the Delta Quadrant? Is she a new development from Starfleet like the EMH was? And how did they come up programming her and designing her, how she's going to appear? And does she have the ability to change her shape and how she appears to everyone else on the Academy? And is she able to leave the confines of a Starfleet
Yeah.
building?
What kind of
or
powers
ship?
does she have?
Does she have a mobile emitter? Because every time they only show inside
All right.
either the ship on space or the ship on the ground, or inside another Federation building, which is going to have hollow projectors. So that's how she's able to walk around as it is and zip and zap everywhere. Does she have a mobile emitter?
It's a good question. What I would like to see is just some risk, like something at stake, some action. Just do something exciting. It's just kind of boring.
Exciting and new?
Yeah.
Are you going to come on board? Because they're expecting you?
The Love Boat.
I would like to see something exciting and new. Set a course for adventure.
Karen McLeod of the Clan McLeod says,
can be
there's
only
always
one.
been A, B, and C plots and stories. Yes, we understand that. And it let them keep their dignity. I understand that as well. But the newer generation of Klingons, I don't think really care about that. Not as much as Worf era and the era prior to that. I don't think
the era of Kahless is over.
That era that looked up to Kahless as like a religious icon, like humans looked up to Christ and all the other religious ones. I think the newer Klingon generation is more about none of that matters. There's going to be some core things like Stovacor and all that, but the whole showing dignity, showing face, after the fact of any Klingon kid can pull up a data pad and see, oh shit, we blew up Praxis in whichever movie that was. They blew that up, minus, and we fucked up ourselves. We stole everything, all of our technology we stole from other planets. And then of course we lost our entire planet during the burn and everything else. So you're a refugee and you're too proud to accept that you're a refugee. I understand that you would rather die than ask for help, just like they showcased in the show here. I think more and more Klingons are going to become more open-minded and are still going to keep their dignity, but be able to ask for help and accept help, not save face, which I think is different than saying keeping their dignity. Because as I mentioned, you could turn anything, a Klingon could turn anything into a battle or into a war. And that's not a bad thing. You could turn a debate. The debate literally was a war. Caleb went to war verbally against AC Slater. I keep forgetting what that kid's name is.
Jaden?
Kevin?
Jaden and Caleb.
Caleb. He went to war against Caleb. That was a battle.
You actually said Caleb. You said Caleb went to war with AC Slater.
Oh, my bad.
I was like, wait, I thought Caleb was AC Slater.
My bad. What I'm saying is, yeah, so they could turn anything into war. So accepting a responsibility, accepting acknowledgement that you need help, I think that is a battle that it's an internal battle, but you could definitely battle it and win by saying, you know what, I need help. Recognizing you can't do it by yourself. Saving face is just you being stubborn and hard-headed, saying, I'm going to die rather than take food that you're giving me without any kind of repercussion or expectation to give it back. That's the kind of shit. So
It's
No
too
doubt.
bad. It's too bad Jaden's brother got killed.
Yeah.
That could have been a
Yeah,
more backstory.
could have brought him into Academy. But all right. Well, let's go through our thanks for the episode because we got to wrap because it is past our 2-hour limit and we're now going to get penalized by YouTube. I forgot who was in here. Oh, of course.
What are you talking about? We got Karen McLeod of the
Karen
Clown
McLeod. There can be only one. We got Chief Scott.
We got Sherman Bastard.
Let's
up
not
here.
forget Sherman.
We got IB Trekbot.
IB.
Lib Monkey. Did you say Crewman Sherry?
Crewman,
I said Crewman Sherry. Cool,
Okay.
cool as
Crewman
ice.
Sherry.
We said IB. Trekbot.
Did I say Sherman?
We had
Sherman.
DJ Magix in here as well. You know.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah,
DJ
Sherman
Post
from
Mutt.
Cleveland High School.
Oh, man.
Oh yeah, we got Sherm. Sherm up here.
Sherman.
All right.
Sherman, I hope to see you again. I hope to see you in the
okay.
chat.
It sounds like a little moment between
Little brown chicken brown cow.
Jaden and
That's what it sounded like. Oh, we got Going Rounds podcast
GRP up
the
in
house.
here. Holy cow!
Oh man, Going Rounds with the Grippers.
Grippers in the house. Check him out on Going Rounds podcast.
Yep, I watched part of his show the other night.
Yep.
Very
I was
interesting.
watching. I was watching that watch party last night.
I watched the match with Cro-Magnon Man versus Porn Stash. So
Oh, that was actually a good one. Porn Stash coming through with the win.
Was that on Paramount Plus?
yeah, it's on Paramount. I'm just, how is nobody? This is like a Star Trek episode. Like, how does nobody see the dude has no?
Yep.
There's no this here. It's all wrong.
Some of them MMA fighters look like aliens.
Oh, they are.
They got the busted up cauliflower ears, and they got the
Man, I'm
weird
like, how is-
Bajoran nose crinkles.
I could see that you broke a bone, you get cauliflower ear from wrestling, but you have no distinctive forehead ridge of where
Yeah,
that shows like your brain is split in two. You have two hemispheres. You just got one solid bone structure. Like,
you wearing eye glitter? You got like your eyes are shiny.
oh, right here.
Yeah.
No, that is. I am kind of getting more feeling back in that side.
Oh, okay. All right.
Was
Like
Holly
actually-
Holmes on Paramount Plus or no? That fight? I didn't get to see that.
What? Holly Holmes?
Holly Holmes
No.
comeback fight.
No, that's later. You got to watch the Going Rounds podcast to keep up on all your MMA news.
Man, yeah.
He's live on Sunday and Thursday nights. Check him out.
With the occasional Saturday pop up for UFCs, which
Watch
are now
parties.
free for everyone, especially if you're watching Trek through Paramount.
That's
you
right.
can check out the UFCs. I don't have a channel or
true.
anything like that, so there's no gaming channel. That's what I'd be doing.
But all right, we're gonna wrap.
Time Cloud, her last thoughts of the evening were, with the longer Klingon lives, it still matters to them, like how we can't get rid of old politicians. We need to get rid of old politicians.
Yeah, we need to
All they
have
do is
limits.
bring in old.
We need to have
ideas.
limits.
Term
yeah,
limits.
Yeah, we need to have limits because people are just too old.
Yeah.
They just keep they've been around too long.
They're
we need
Someone that
new
was in their
blood.
prime in the 70s is still bringing that 70s mentality to
Yes.
2026, and
Yeah.
that doesn't go. It's a totally different
Yep.
Like
society.
luggage.
So,
Can't get rid of
but
it.
hey,
That'll be
I
on the
appreciate all
that'll be
these.
on the other podcast where we talk about that kind of stuff.
yeah, the politics and stuff, that
So
the locker room talk type stuff.
yes, with the silicone toy cleaner.
Without, see, you took it left. I knew it was gonna happen. I knew I shouldn't have
That's
said
right.
anything.
That's right. Because we have to. All right. Well, thanks everybody, and we're gonna wrap. I gotta go to the facility and make sure that everything's working in the plumbing area. But thanks for tuning in, Big E. We'll catch you later. Karen McLeod, the Clan McLeod. There can be only one. I think you were number one tonight. Yep, I see it.
Yeah, she took it away from me. I started
She's
out as
in the
number
chair.
one, and then she came in and booted me out of there.
All right.
That's all right. I was preoccupied.
We'll catch us back here again next Sunday. If you haven't subscribed, Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, show some love for Technically Trek, and we will catch you guys next Sunday. Peace.
Sherman, if you're out there and you're on Facebook, reach out to me. I'm on Facebook.
Gay.
Respect.
Reach out and touch them.
Oh.
Jaden Love.
Oh, my.
Exciting and new.